If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. I've been asked a lot why I don't have a travel trailer. Just the other day I showed you a video of my camper inside and out. Told you how much I loved it. And as always, somebody says I need to get a travel trailer. They're just better. I guess you could consider them better. Yes, they have more room. I completely understand that. The disadvantages of having a trailer seem to me to far outweigh the advantages. I feel like the truck camper or a van or Class C, in my opinion, outweigh a travel trailer. Look, I realize that we get new subscribers to this channel all the time, but I feel like I cover this topic pretty often. My pop-up camper was burned down by a mentally ill person in a national forest. He broke into it, which you can do in a travel trailer too. Very easily break into a travel trailer, just as easy, well, almost as easy as pop-up camper. He stole the food out of the refrigerator, and for anybody who suspects that I'm not telling the truth on that, the way we know he stole the food is we had canned foods in two different areas. We had a cabinet that had canned food, and then we put canned food on the bunkin also. The canned food inside the cabinet was missing. It was gone. And the reason, and it's even easier to understand when you look at the canned food that was sitting on the bunkin, you know, all the cans exploded, but the remnants of the cans were there. The remnants of the cans in the shelf was not. We had meat in the refrigerator. One was cooked meat. It was chicken. And it was in the cast iron casserole dish. That meat was still there in the fridge. The door had blown off, but the meat was still inside. The chicken was still there. The food, the frozen meat in the freezer was gone. So we know he stole the food. Sorry about the wind, it keeps coming and going. But it's a nice day, so I wanted to come outside. So, now, he did this in a 3-hour span. We went to town. As a matter of fact, we went to town to find out if we could campsite host at the campground we were at. We've been there most of the season. We left, came back. You know, long story, but we wanted to campsite host there for about 2 more months before we got back onto our adventure. When we came back from the ranger's office is when the camper had been burned down. You know, of course, we rushed around and tried to figure out what we were going to do. And the plan was originally, first day or so, we planned on buying another camper, pop-up camper, something, I don't know. And my dad and I were standing on the ocean beach, leaning over the back of the pickup truck, and we started talking about building one. Now, he had built a truck camper before. He called it the Alaska camper. He built a camper and put it on the back of his Ford Ranger, and they went to Alaska. He only used it once, but must have served him well. He had some knowledge that it could be done, so we went with it. And it was a fantastic idea, it really was. Our house is always with us. It gives us so much more flexibility. A lot of people say, oh, I can break down my camper in 30 minutes. That's great. I can literally get in mine and leave. As long as the generator isn't outside, I don't have to deal with anything. I just have so much more flexibility. The other thing that I like about it, that I don't have to worry about near as much, is I am a much better backer-upper without a trailer than I am with a trailer. And this is key, because there are times you get down a one-lane road into these national forests, and they go on for miles and miles and miles before you can get to your campsite. And they're always one-lane roads. Well, a lot of times, these one-lane roads, a limb will have fallen across it. Now, there was one time where I had to deal with a limb in the road. I didn't have the camper, the pop-up camper. It was down at the campground, and we were going to go to town, and a limb had fallen across the road. Well, I decided that I was just going to hook my chain up to it, which I don't have anymore. Hooked my chain up to it, and I just backed the limb off the road. And it worked pretty good. But can you imagine having to do that with a camper attached, or unattaching the camper and moving that limb and reattaching the camper? Or you get into these one-lane roads and something's washed out and you have to back up miles. I can back a trailer up fairly well, but boy, I sure wouldn't want to do it for very long. Plus, you know, you got to have a partner with you. Up there in South Dakota, big old fifth wheel came down in this one-lane road. I think it was 9 o'clock when it came down. And he realized that the camping areas weren't that great for his big fifth wheel. You know, it was just soft ground, kind of like, you know, this. That's all it was. For the next 2 hours, he was backing up, pulling forward, backing up. It's dark outside. 2 steps backwards, 1 step forward in this case, meaning he was backing up 2 feet and then had to pull forward a foot. And, you know, there's just a lot of disadvantages that, from my experience, I would prefer to have a one-unit house. You know, the truck camper, a van, Class C. A lot of people seem to think I need more space. And guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. I can't convince you enough. If you just don't believe that I don't need more space, I don't need more space. You know, the other day I got chewed out because if I loved that woman, that's what they said, meaning Carolyn, I'd get her a bathroom and a shower. Well, you don't know Carolyn. I'm sorry. I love Carolyn very dearly, and Carolyn can have anything she wants whenever she wants. There is no questions asked. I mean, the other day, we were going to go to get her a phone, and I was just going to get her a quick flip phone because she never acted interested in having a phone. She said, "Can I have a smartphone?" Boom. I mean, there was no discussion or anything. She wanted a smartphone. She got one. So if she wanted a bathroom or a bigger camper or anything, it's hers. So for everybody who knows Carolyn better than I do, you might want to reanalyze what you're thinking there. That's the reason we don't have a trailer. Thanks for watching. Quick like if you like the video, and happy travels.